Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back for Claim to Fame, episode number 2 of season number 3. And we've got a lot to talk about here. Back here with a woman who, unlike these people, is almost never wrong. It's Jenny Autumn. Jenny, how are you?
Oh, I wish that I was never wrong. I'm occasionally wrong, but I'm feeling like, man down, but it's not man down. It's 2 women down. We are now 3 women down in this cast, down to 8 people already. I feel like things are moving so quickly, and I'm a little heartbroken by some of these eliminations tonight.
Yep. All these women, nobody knows who their uncles are, or they're bad at guessing. And now we know who their uncles are. And now we're excited to alley-oop in our great guest here today. We got such jubilee from us for Pooya Zavakili.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited. I will say, y'all have really
Not a goatee, though.
No, definitely
No,
not.
full
You
beard.
have listen. You have changed the game with the invitations you're sending in. I had to solve a puzzle, and then I saw the chastity clue. I realized, okay, this is a raw pod. Who else is on this? Oh, it's Claim to Fame. I'm in. Very happy to be back here with y'all again. Thank you for having me. Can't wait to play some detective and talk some. This is hype. This episode was absolutely incredible.
So much sabotage going on here in Claim to Fame, including this great reveal from Miguel. What is this? The genius? What the freaking hell?
I love flashbacks.
It was missing Skrillex, but it was very good. I loved it.
Yeah. Jenny, what's your reaction after seeing these 2 shocking eliminations?
I saw the Gracie Lou elimination coming like a slow car crash that I didn't want to happen. With the fake out from Naomi, that one I felt very confident that was a deliberate fake out. Now, the big surprise for me from this episode is that not that Miguel was purposely faking out, but that Diedrich was in on it. That was a wonderful flashback reveal. It was wild, and I loved it. I'm so happy that he has an ally, because I was really worried for our guy here.
We'll talk through everything from the double elimination, of course. We want to make sure you're subscribed. We've got a Claim to Fame dedicated podcast feed. If you're not listening to us in the Rob's podcast or the Hit or Quit feed, be sure to make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of our Claim to Fame coverage. We love to get your comments. Also, make sure that you are letting us know what you think along the way. And this was such a shocking reveal. And I guess the thing that I don't understand about this plan, and maybe you two could make it make sense. So we see Diedrich and Miguel hatch this plan, and they say, okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to be in the room. They just said, who's that guy? Antonio Banderas. Okay, I'll be in the room muttering to myself, you're a Banderas. You can do that. You walk into the room, then tell everybody you heard me talking to myself. Why did they need to fake that? Why couldn't they just say I did the thing? Was that to trick us?
Well, I feel like Miguel has clearly proven to be the sneakiest sneak in the house, so he's probably paranoid that other people are doing what he's doing, which is a lot of eavesdropping.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like if there's plain evidence if someone was sneak attacking him that hey, this happened.
But Miguel's whispering to himself, I mean, couldn't we just have Diedrich come in the room and they give each other the thumbs up, okay, it's go time. Okay, good. You got it.
I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense though, in that you want the words to have been said in case anyone overheard, or just even if they couldn't hear exactly what you're saying, that you build up the whole, thing of he's kind of freaking out. He's been, left out of some conversations. He's kind of, he's hearing people talking about guessing him. And even because I believe that Gracie Lou, and I don't know who else was on the balcony or whatever, make sure they're in earshot. So at least they can say, I did hear him saying something. Diedrich confirms it. So, you know, I think it's just a little bit more elaborate and safe than just saying, just tell them that you overheard me saying that, because like the more that you can actually create the scenario, the less it is a lie, because he did say that, he did overhear him say that. It's just that he happened to know he was going to say that.
Was Miguel faking his breakdown from the first episode? Was that all? Like, is Miguel this great actor, or was he having this like panicky episode last time, and this was sort of like out of desperation to try to save himself?
It's hard to say with Miguel, because he did say he wants to come in as a wolf in sheep's clothing. But to your point earlier, is he also trying to fool us? Like, you know, that's the question I'm going to have in the back of my head the rest of the season now. Is he trying to fool us as well? Because I thought it was authentic. And then I watched episode 2. I was like, maybe you've been trying to fool us all along.
Is this what we're going to have to be, you know, looking out for now, that we're actually also being fooled by the contestants themselves, and that we can't trust anything, not just their interactions with the other contestants? Like, are confessionals canon now? Are they saying, you know what?
What don't is this, tell you.
I mean,
honestly,
could be going that direction, right?
Yeah. And the guess came in. I thought we were going to get a double guess of Miguel. We got the first guess of Miguel, Antonio Banderas. No, I really thought that Gracie Lou was going to come in with Desi Arnaz as the guess, which I think is also wrong. Yes, I do not think Desi Arnaz is the relative of Miguel, because Miguel told us that when his mom got sick, that his celebrity relatives stepped in and helped support his mom, and Desi Arnaz, sadly, died in 1986.
Right.
Wow.
Which should be well before Miguel was ever born.
Okay, you don't listen. That's when I was born. He is a young
Miguel
man.
is like 20.
No, yes, he is. He's most definitely a lot younger than that. So yeah, by that math, impossible, right?
I mean, he didn't say he was in the room. Like, right, this could be anecdotally passed down of like his mom was sick.
The mom was sick before he was born?
And then the mom told the story of like, you know, he did this for me, whatever. So that it's possible. But also, you know, I go back to the first episode where Miguel was like, I picked this name to throw people off and make them look a certain way. And I think that's working right now.
He's trying to lean into, you know, like the like Latin sounding.
I'm trying to see more Spanish, right?
Yeah, more Spanish. So that pretty much, I think at this, I mean, and that's information that only we have. However, going back to what we were just talking about, is Miguel lying to us? Is he doing the like double fake out with us now? And maybe it is like a, you know, someone with a Spanish leaning like obvious name. I don't know.
So all of Miguel's hijinks serve to ultimately set this trap that sadly Purple Jill ends up getting roped into this trap. Jill
she was
did
wearing
not
blue,
get
to be fair,
she did not get a lot of airtime is what I'm getting towards, which is very sad, because I feel like that we could have had a lot of fun with her celebrity relative, John Stamos.
Yeah.
Uncle Jesse is her Uncle John.
Yeah. And I also just think, even with they're a very
they did
well
not
known
have mercy.
A very well-known celebrity that I think that, you know, there could have been some really fun clues for. And, you know, to Jill's defense, even though she didn't really give or get much airtime in the first 2 episodes here, if she was truly being as unhelpful and clueless as they appeared to tell us in this episode, I think that is a fun character to have. Like, you know, it brings us back to Louise from season 1, you know, where Louise was just kind of being dragged along. I don't think she had any idea what was going on. And that's kind of a fun narrative for someone. Like, just, I like there to be someone that we're kind of laughing at a little bit. No offense to Jill, but I was like, I would love the content of her allies being frustrated with her, being like, you do not help us. But if they figure her out, then that's someone to keep in the pocket. And that's like and you're like, I don't have to worry about you ever guessing me. That's like a fun person to have in the mix. However, it's fun to have people that are playing hard. And I think maybe we were not going to ever really get that with Jill.
Yeah. All we got from Jill was that she had the hots for HUD, right?
Well, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Apparently.
And that's it. And she doesn't know who Antonio Banderas is.
That feels
is-
egregious.
Yeah, that's pretty outrageous to me. I feel like even if you're not familiar with his larger body of work, there's at least like 3 marquee things that I can name off the top of my head for me personally. Spy Kid, the cat in Shrek,
Puss.
Yeah,
and then,
Puss.
In
Puss.
yeah.
Like, even if you're young,
Yeah.
I
Where's
feel
the cat on the clue wall?
there's got to be one somewhere.
I don't
Where's
see
the
a cat.
boots?
Oh, wait, it's not Antonio Banderas.
Boots down. Yeah.
So I guess there shouldn't be, but there could be clues to lead in that
Well,
direction.
that would be the tell.
Red herrings.
Right.
Gotta be there.
Yeah. So maybe that's why the people that did know who Antonio Banderas was, I want to know, like, the only clue that they kept pointing to for Miguel was the maracas.
Yeah.
And I just feel like with other people, they're pointing to a few different things. And maybe I missed it, but like what other things were they pulling from the clue wall that led to Antonio Banderas specifically by just maracas? Like, I think it's, I don't know what that was.
A great thing for future claim to fame players to do is just like before you go into the guess off, just go down your checklist and like, okay, I'm guessing this because maracas. That's it. That's all I'm going off of. And I guess then they felt like that they had the smoking gun of Miguel talking to himself. But even the Dustin Hoffman guess was like, what are we going off of for Dustin Hoffman?
There was a duster.
Yeah.
There was a duster. And there was a pirate, and there was a gavel.
Yes.
And I'm not even sure what movie it was.
What's the gavel from?
Yeah, Kramer versus Kramer. Was that it? Was that
he
alimony?
a
They thought that was
judge
his
in
clue.
something?
No,
well,
he's getting
wasn't alimony one of the
divorce movie?
clues?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was like we're really reaching here.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, 3 seasons in now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first season where not only the first person guess was wrong, but also the first 3 people to leave have all been wrong guesses.
Yeah.
Like, this is wild. And I think
We
it's
did
a
go through that
testament to how much they're
stretch.
playing.
Yeah, for sure. We did get that stretch last season with everyone incorrectly guessing Chris.
Right.
And that resulted in a lot of people being eliminated that way. But I feel like outside of that, a lot of the eliminations have been from correct guesses. So it's very, very interesting that we're starting the season off 0-3. Now, mind you, the double elimination of it all, people being forced into guessing simply by losing a challenge. Are we saying Gracie Lou was robbed? Could she have socially, maneuvered herself if she had the ability for there to be a vote to not have to even been the guesser? The game is evolving, and I think that the format of this episode itself is kind of interesting to think about, where, simply because she pulled a ping pong, she and her team, like, I was going to say the bed, but I guess the boat on the challenge. She has no choice but to be a guesser because we're doing 2 guessers, and it's not even a vote. Like, I think that that's also very interesting in how we got here.
Yeah, I think we were robbed, is to answer your question, because I was very intrigued by someone coming in, faking a location where they're from, faking an accent. And when her reveal comes later, no one was even going to be close there, which I think was going to be a fascinating watch.
Yeah, Gracie Lou got hosed, certainly. And I guess kudos to Naomi, who pulls off the episode's other massive sabotage. Yeah. And this one comes when we see Gracie Lou, I thought tried to make a good move, but unfortunately, Naomi is immune. And so Gracie Lou has the clue for Naomi, goes to her and is like, well, I've got your clue. I'd hate to share it with anybody. So can you help me out? And then ends up fast on her feet. Naomi ends up saying like, oh my God, she has my person. It's Molly Ringwald, or Dead to Rights, as Jenny pointed out last week. And so she's like, well, can you help me with that, with anything? Could you give me, and and I think she tells her that she has HUD's clue, but it's not helpful. No, it's not, right? She says that the HUD clue is Bupkis.
Yeah, which I think this was my biggest issue for Gracie Lou. The minute you're not doing a clue for clue swap, do not believe anything the immune person is going to say to you.
Good
There's
point.
just no validity there. She can say whatever she needs, because if you follow her lead and you're wrong, you leave and you're no longer an issue to her.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I found a bit concerning about how Naomi handles this, because I agree that it's the moment that Gracie Lou is basically shaking her down and basically like low key threatening her, like, I've got your clue and I would hate to have to start sharing it with other people if you don't help me here. That loses any, sympathy that she can get from Naomi and actually wanting to help her. That's when you open the opportunity for her to like actually be like, screw you for trying to come at me here. I'm actually going to intentionally throw you off here. The thing I noticed was she first starts the conversation off by saying, if I had to guess tonight, I would be doing Desi Arnaz for Miguel. And she says, that's 100%. I feel pretty good about that. If it were me, that's what I was going to do. Then all of a sudden, after the shakedown, she then gives this information about Adam. She says, I feel bad, but this is what I've got for Adam. And then says, if I had to guess tonight, 100%, that's who I would go for. I was like, you just said 10 minutes ago, 100% you would have done a totally different thing.
I think she first said 95% Dustin Hoffman and then went 100% Dustin Hoffman in that same conversation.
We're rounding up. But it was just the fact that it was like the wording of it was the exact same, where it was like, if it were me tonight, that's who I would be going for. And then completely changes the person and the guest. Like, I think you have to think before or after. You have to be concerned about what threatening somebody might cause them to do, and just be a little less trusting of how they're going to react on that.
Bless her heart, because she really meant it when she said she's not going to be good at this, because this threat didn't come off threatening at all to me. It came off as, oh, this is someone who's shaking while threatening me. Like, they're not going to go through with it properly. Because even I guess it'd be a shame if I have to give your information up to somebody else. It felt empty to me. I was like, I don't think there's going to be follow through here either. But again, it was light work for her ultimately to throw her to a wrong path. Which, fun fact, with these two. So obviously these two are a big part of the connection here. I was on Molly Ringwald's Wikipedia.
Yes. And
there is a show called Drop the Mic, which was back in 2018. There was an episode where they do rap battles, and it was Molly Ringwald versus John Cryer.
Well, that's what's so interesting here. Well, for that, the big connection here is that John Cryer does not have a ton of that he does 262 episodes of 2.5 Men, one of the most well-known sitcoms of the 2000s. But also, as we saw, The Duck Clue is also probably second best well-known for Pretty in Pink, where he co-stars with Molly Ringwald, famously.
Yeah. And Naomi says they have way more of a connection than I even thought. So all but confirmed.
But Jenny, aren't the claim to fame producers really playing with fire here? I mean, if I have a famous celebrity relative, I think the chances are I might be very familiar with their work. How does the celebrity, how do the producers of claim to fame vet, Molly Ringwald's family does not know John Cryer's family? Right.
I mean, maybe they're just thinking if they are not immediate family members, and they're in the case of these two, which I'm assuming that Naomi is also just a niece in this case. not immediate family, like how close are you that you've, and then also how long ago they starred in a movie together. Did these people even exist back then? So like it's not like you can assume that the immediate like the nieces and nephews of these people would possibly know who each other are.
I got the sense Naomi definitely knew who John Cryer was, and has certainly seen Pretty in Pink. I think that maybe Gracie Lou, and Gracie, her real name, maybe has not seen Pretty in Pink, and because she wasn't even quite sure about Molly Ringwald, about being.
But she at least knew Molly Ringwald,
she knew
right?
of her, certainly, but did not seem to know that she is the very famous co-star of her uncle's most famous movie.
Yeah. I mean, to your point though about the producers like vetting and thinking about, like having relatives of co-stars, even if it was not super recent.
Yeah.
I think yes, it's potentially dangerous, but I also think that makes it fun because it muddies who the clues are for. And I think that can, perhaps lead to more misdirection or like people figuring it out and then kind of like using their own clues to get them off of you and onto the other person because you could apply them to the other person. Like that's kind of fun.
But it also like opens the door for somebody like Naomi, who I think is a very savvy player, to be able to now take all of the Molly Ringwald clues and point them back at John Cryer. So if somebody's like, oh, Molly Ringwald, Molly Ringwald starred in Pretty in Pink with John Cryer. That's her. That was Gracie's clue.
Ducky, the duck, like that's so these are the things you grab anything that could be overlapping, and it's now over to just John Cryer.
And I don't believe Gracie Lou shared Naomi's clue with anybody else in the house. I don't believe. And now that clue has left with Gracie Lou. I think Naomi is the favorite to win by a lot now.
Agreed.
Very good spot. Very good. So especially with this little alliance she's getting together with HUD and Adam, where they're going to take each other's clues and keep them. Well, her clue's gone now. She's holding HUD's clue. Seems like she's going to figure it out. So she has a get out of jail free card if she ever needs it. I do feel like who's going to stop Naomi? That's the question right now.
She's also positioned as the person, she knows all the pop culture. Like they could get a clue and it's like stars in the Breakfast Club. And they'll be like, guys, that's a clue to Molly Ringwald, who has been Pretty in Pink with John Cryer. Duh. Like nobody's going to question it.
The only thing, and I completely agree, because we even get a segment in this episode that points to how much Naomi knows about pop culture. There's like a montage of her just like giving information to other people. She knows a lot. She has a wide breadth of knowledge here. The one thing I worry about for her is if she gets put into a guessing position, perhaps very soon, and decides to do what people may have thought Gracie Lou should have done, and does the Desi Arnaz guess for Miguel, which I think we are all in agreement that it cannot be true, because she has information on other people, but there's nothing that indicates to me that she doesn't actually think that the Desi Arnaz guess for Miguel is actually a good guess.
Yeah.
So she might get spooked with not having firm enough information on Diedrich, for example, or firm enough information on HUD, or she's working with him, so she doesn't want to go for him right yet. Got to keep it in the pocket. If she's in a situation next week, let's say, where she could be voted in to be the guesser and people feel threatened by her, or at least are like, hey, she'll take somebody out and I'm working with her, she gets put in the guesser and she goes after Miguel and is wrong. That's
the only thing that could screw her up.
I think so, yeah.
I think it's not dissimilar from the show we covered earlier this year in Dondi, where I feel like that in the beginning of the game, you don't want to be going up against the banker, and you want to like find safety, and you don't want to go to the banker's temple because you could get eliminated. But as we get into like the second half of the game, like it starts to shift where actually going into the guess off is the safest position because you can control whether or not you're going to go home. But right now, there's just not enough information and these players are playing hard.
Yes. Yeah. At this point, I mean, if you're not safe, you can be guessed. So there's not the same sort of middle ground that you could have in a game like Deal or No Deal Island. But like, at least if you're not in the bottom two, you can't possibly be voted in. That's a lot safer than being potentially guessed. In my opinion, at this stage, with the information that people have.
One more thing as we talk about the outcome from tonight's Guess Off. A claim to fame first. We had a real-life celebrity come and pick up their loved one as John Cryer showed up to pick up niece Gracie Lou. What a great moment. He rolls down the window like, really? Episode 2?
I loved this.
This was fun. This was a very fun exchange. I like that he leans into it. He was shading her. He's like, what was the last thing I texted you? Trust no one. Exactly. And also, yeah, you're not a good liar. That's probably why you went out. I like this a lot. I like that he was willing to play ball, but also, did he just live close by? Because why was he
Probably,
free?
right?
Like,
I mean,
he didn't have a lot going on.
they just called him up. I mean, he's clearly a friend of the show. Not just like, yeah, they got, called up and said, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I consent.
Yeah, I don't know where they filmed this. Probably somewhere in the valley, probably, and when they were talking about John Cryer sending in a video, I was like, I'll just come by. If I'm around then, sure.
And
call me.
I love that his video reveal, he very clearly was involved, because I think that some of these celebrities, like, aren't that involved. They're like, yeah, sure, like, go on the show. I'll record a little bit if you get eliminated.
That's right. He did do a video also.
He was very aware of her plan. So he obviously talked to her at length before she went into the house, and he knew that she was planning to say that she was from Tennessee and that she was going to play up this country thing. So I love that he must at least watch the show, right? Like, he definitely understood what she was doing and potentially helped her with her strategy going in, like maybe helped give her, things that she could use to deflect off of him. And I love that. I would love a world where the celebrities start getting so invested in the idea of their relative being on the show that they also kind of get in on it, and help their relative before they go in. That's very fun.
Yeah, if they have a lifeline, that'd be great.
Yeah.
What should I do? Okay. Let's go back to the beginning of the episode and talk about everything that we learned here tonight. And we think we got some new information that could help us nail a few more of these relatives of the celebrities. Let's just start off talking about Shane. Shane's such an interesting guy. We know that he is not Forrest Whitaker's relative. But he has had birthdays, like he kind of like flaunts his fame quite a bit. He has had birthdays at the Graceland and the Neverland Ranch. He talks about how he's had dinner with Elizabeth Taylor. Who is this guy?
That's what I'd like to know.
Yeah. Mystery to me.
Do you have any thoughts on him, Pooya?
No, I'm fascinated by him, but I'm also nowhere near figuring him out.
I need to refresh myself on his Two Truths and a Lie. I'm gonna pull this up here.
Please.
So, okay, cousin, actor, and Oscar are his Two Truths and a Lie. So, and he said that they're very famous. He seems to be hinting that they're incredibly famous. So
they're very famous.
These people, like
Elizabeth
pretty
Taylor
famous.
Also has been RIP for a little bit of time as well. Marlon Brando's name came up in the episode tonight. Is it possible that Marlon Brando could be the Shane relative? Because it has to be somebody who at least is like a big enough deal in the 80s to have birthday parties at Neverland Ranch, to go to Graceland, to have dinner with Elizabeth Taylor. So I just wonder that didn't seem like a crazy idea when they said it. I wonder if that's a name just to keep out there.
Yeah, because I mean, we can go through the word clues that we got from the challenge, but that was where the Marlon Brando reference ended up coming from.
Valkyrie.
And off the top of my head, I don't know who that was for. So it could, if there is Marlon Brando, it would
We'll
make
look at the
sense
clue
for,
wall also.
for
We got
Shane.
it standing by. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, you're very right on that. It probably makes sense to be someone that was big in the 80s.
The 80s.
Yeah. 70s, 80s. Okay.
Yeah.
So we find out about this little bit of an alliance. Adam has an idea. Okay. Hey, Adam, HUD, Naomi, let's make a deal. Okay. Let's all go and get each other's clues, and we don't tell anybody else except us. Pooya, do you like this plan?
Yeah, I'm not mad at this. You're kind of connecting with two other people that you feel like you can trust, and if y'all win and take each other's clues, and as long as you don't share them with anybody else, it's kind of an insurance policy for you, but also no one else is going to find your clue and oust you. So I think especially for someone like Adam, who I feel like is very confident that he's faking people out, he's going to be very okay with this arrangement. And I'm not mad at it, quite frankly. I think where I would worry is if you make it too obvious that you're doing something like this, because then people might just start focusing, zeroing in on you and trying to figure you out.
And Jenny, was Naomi the right third person for Adam and HUD to bring in?
So this is interesting. It is if you are, going from the perspective of I want to connect with the strongest people, the strongest players, and the people that will have the most information, and also potentially be a threat to me if they're not on my side because they have the highest probability of figuring things out. And that seems to be what Adam's strategy is here. And I think that that's why, like, finding who you want to work with in Claim to Fame is interesting compared to some other social strategy type games, because you need to align with people that are actually okay at the game, because you can't rely on your own intelligence and breadth of knowledge alone. That's why seeing like Gabriel and Chris kind of working together last season was interesting. Like, it's great to find somebody that knows an area that you might not. You don't want to just work with people who are oblivious, have no idea what's going on, because they aren't going to help you. However, it's a double-edged sword to be choosing to work with people that are very good at the game and can figure a lot of things out, because you're putting a lot of trust in the fact that they are going to stay true to you and aren't going to use all of the information that they're getting, about you, through you, against you at some point. When are they going to determine when is a good time to take the shot? Because you can't think it's and this is the same as other shows where it's just like, you're not always going to think, okay, we're just going to go through the three strongest people, like, just locked arms heading to the end, like, I'll be happy to lose to any of you. You have to be concerned about that part. But for a certain portion of the game, you do need to be working with people that are helpful, because there's not a lot of information out there right now. You need people to help filter that information to you. So I like it, but it's a scary strategy. And I do think that Naomi has been set up as the person who seems to know a lot. So I do like the pick for Adam.
Nobody else is talking about Claim to Fame like this.
No, absolutely not. And the show, I'm so happy.
No, on such a deep level. It was like oh, this is like a silly show.
Well, I think that's what it looked like when it first began. But given how intensively strategic all these relatives are being, it does warrant this kind of conversation. And I think Adam finds himself in a good spot where if HUD was to win the next one, HUD can pull his clue. And I feel like he feels closer to HUD. So that's a better spot for his clue to land. But obviously, there's no limitations to how many clues. If Naomi wins the next one, she can just pick his clue up as well. And now she's in the best spot in the alliance because she's got both her clues ready to go. And her clues out the game.
Let's talk about our competition this week. And I'd rather not get too much into the minutia of the spelling bee, but I would love to talk about the words that were in the spelling bee. Because we got not everybody's clue, but we got a good, 7 or 8 words that we can talk about and see if they help us identify anybody. It ends up being Gracie Lou versus Naomi, and then they are going to both have the losing captain and then also a person that they pick go into the guess-off. Obviously, it was Gracie Lou's team that ended up going into the guess-off. But we got some interesting words to spell. And the first of which was goatee.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying to think who's a famous goatee. Is Marlon Brando a goatee?
I don't think he's necessarily famous for a goatee.
For a goatee. Who's famous for
someone did say that's their clue, didn't they? For goatee or
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie.
Oh,
okay. And Mackenzie, I have my notes open from the first episode. Mackenzie said her father is a singer and a Tony Awards. His Broadway is a Lie. So her father is a singer with a goatee. I was going to say Bryan Cranston is a famous goatee person, but he's not a singer.
See, I forgot about Mackenzie saying that was for her. And again, sometimes people can think that a clue is for them and it's not, because good clues or good, like, especially on the clue wall, I love when you could apply it to a couple different people just to make it a little bit more complicated.
We had last season with the burger, and then you had where Gabriel thought like, oh, my relative was in Good Burger, but it really turned out it was Jenny McCarthy is married to Donnie Wahlberg, who has Wahlburger.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Like, I love when they have those sorts of clues. I totally forgot about Mackenzie saying that, because I am still on the point I made last week, where I both hope and now I'm leaning into just deciding that this is what I think, that the wrestler is a thing and that's not a lie, and that there is a wrestler that Danny is related to. And
Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Exactly. That's where I was just going. I was like, maybe, because that's a goatee. I feel like
an iconic goatee.
You think of him and you picture the goatee, right? So, but if it's for Mackenzie, but who's to say it's for Mackenzie? I don't know. Like, what famous singers are they known for having a goatee?
Known for having a goatee.
I have an alternative idea here. So, Rob, you just mentioned last season with the burger and the wall burger. What if this clue isn't about facial hair? What if it's goatee, as in someone who could be in the debate for being a goat?
Gautier, somebody that I used to know.
That would have been the perfect clue line. I'm upset at myself.
Or is it the goat? Tom Brady.
Okay. All right. I don't know about that one.
Was it somebody that's on the goat, Jenny?
It could be somebody that's on the goat. It could be the host of the goat, Daniel Tosh.
Daniel Tosh. Yeah. Okay. So we're looking for a singer that has a goatee. Billy Joel has one now, but I don't think he's iconic for having a goatee.
That's the thing. It has to be in their heyday, right?
I even think Springsteen, I think, also has a goatee now.
I don't know why Michael McDonald popped into my head.
Who's that?
And I had to look to see if he had a goatee, but I think it's like verging on a beard also.
What about the Kenny Rogers?
I think Kenny Rogers, I think
the
has
beard
the
is
full beard.
Yeah, it's more beard.
So
now,
there is with a goatee, but
I think Michael McDonald is too old to be Mackenzie's. Well, I mean, I guess nothing is too old. I don't know how old Mackenzie is.
Yeah. Okay. But looking for a father who's a singer. Okay.
Father.
All right. Also, we had the word alley-oop.
Yeah.
Alley-oop, which, if meant taken literally, somebody who is a basketball player?
Right.
But do we have some athlete that's in our mix?
Unless
somebody's
the athlete,
lying about the profession.
Yeah. Because that's where we have to go back to the clues, or like the two truths and a lie for people, because, I'm globbing onto this. Danny is not lying about it being a pro wrestler. And that's our like non-actor singer representation. But it's if some of these other people are lying about, singer or musician or actor, like, then it is possible we have an athlete that is not a wrestler.
Okay.
Because what else would alley-oop be except for a reference to
yeah.
a
That's the
basketball player,
thing.
right?
Like, this isn't the Masked Singer where they'll make any clue make any sense the way they want. Because my other thought was an alley-oop obviously being the action of
I will
throwing the
say
ball
that
up to assist.
Robin Roberts did play basketball, so
Oh,
I don't know if
they have to
didn't,
have.
They didn't. There were 12 clues, right?
Would
That's
that come up
actually-
after, like after
It must
Bianca's gone?
have been.
No, that's such a good call, Rob, because we know that there were, so the Joe Bros tell us in this challenge there are 12 envelopes,
Which is interesting.
and
There's only 11 people in the season.
exactly. So one maybe is just a red herring. And they also should be including the clues for people that have been eliminated, because I think that that's what they do in other challenges.
Yeah, we've had that in the past, like with the limericks and stuff like that.
So, and we also get to see, or did I see it on social media? I believe I saw Bianca's clue.
I saw that on
for
socials as
Robin
well.
Roberts, and it also had a basketball reference in it. So that's actually probably what it
Okay,
is.
yeah, we can probably move on from that then.
So
I
okay.
think.
Okay,
Yeah,
we
I think
figured
nailed
it out.
Yeah, we solved it.
Good on us.
Jubilee.
Oh, I know who this is for.
Okay.
Hit us with it, because I have no idea.
Is this going back
I
to
don't want
HUD?
to go. It is going back to HUD. It is going back to HUD.
All right, then let's how about this, Jenny? Why don't when we talk about the clue for HUD, we'll circle back to the Jubilee.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
That I feel strongly that this is for HUD.
All right.
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Gemini is one of the clues. We talk about a twin also.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we get reference to, was it Danny who was trying to go through who some famous twins are?
Yeah, he was the one who mentioned like the
Yeah.
Olsen twins, and
Yeah.
I believe it was
Now
him.
the Olsen twins are interesting in that they are twins and they are also Geminis.
Same season as John Stamos. I don't know.
They're connected to John Stamos also.
That's
is that
also
possible?
a good point, but like that's for the twin.
And
like
also
for Gemini to be
Uncle Jesse also had twins also on Full House.
Yeah.
But I just feel like that's a little too disconnected for the Gemini clue to be for John Stamos. But the other thing that got pointed to with that clue, because it was the astrological sign that was the name of the NASA. But then Danny points to the fact that not only does that mean it could be a twin? On the clue wall, there are the twin crabs. Now, the crabs in astrology are Cancer.
Enhance.
Top left.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a sign of if we're going to lean into, does this mean, are we leaning into the astrology of it all? Because we got a Gemini reference, which is the twins, but we have the pair of crabs. Is that telling me that if one of these relatives is a twin, are they not a Gemini? They are a Cancer. Because why the twin?
Well, how would we know their birthday?
Well, I know the Olsen twins because the Olsen twins and I are the same age. So I know the Olsen twins' birthday, and they are actually Gemini.
Yeah.
So that's to me saying, like, if we want to use that as the connection to the Gemini word clue, then I don't think it's the Olsen twins.
It comes up also in the episode that Joan Jett has a twin. Does your Jubilee theory involve Joan Jett?
It does not.
Okay. All right. So
because I believe, and also Naomi says that she doesn't think it could be Joan Jett because Joan Jett doesn't have children. She seems to know that.
Okay.
So
all right.
I don't know.
That's just what came up on the episode. The maraca comes up.
The soul clue for Miguel.
The through line, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And do we know that the maraca is Miguel's clue, or did people just suppose?
I think they just kind of put it on him.
Is somebody related to Charo?
Your guess is good as mine, Rob.
We've got the maracas on the clue wall, right? Mm-hmm. Like at this point, based on what Miguel has told us, if we believe that Miguel is trying to lean in to that culture, And that, like that type of person to distract from who it could actually be, to misdirect. And if we're trusting what he's telling us, the audience, then I would think the maracas are probably not his clue. I don't know who they're for.
I can't
but
decide.
we've got it in 2 spots now. Like we've got it as a word and we've got it from the wall.
Well, I can't decide if getting that same clue twice is indicative that it is a very strong like giveaway clue, or it's a very vague clue that is not going to be as important.
Or
because why bring it up twice?
That somebody's person does not have that many other things to point to.
That is a very good point. That is a very, very good point.
They're famous for playing the maracas.
There's no way that they're bringing in somebody who's the main thing that they're famous for is playing the maracas.
Also,
I just don't think so.
To go back to Steve Austin, that microphone looks like a WWF microphone. Like it's got the little extra rectangle on the bottom where the logo would go. So I like that.
Oh, near the bottom left.
Yeah.
No, that one?
Yeah. Because it's got the W. It's got the place where you would put the logo on it.
Yeah,
I like that.
But I think a lot.
That's any news station, like I think that the fact that it's black makes it look especially like a WWE type microphone.
Can we scroll down a little bit to what?
See that Greek yogurt there for Stamos?
Yeah, I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Is there someone who's Greek?
Yes, John Stamos.
John Stamos.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, so that's Stamos. Okay, what? Oh, that's a flashlight. Sorry. When you were talking about microphone, I thought you
looking at the clue wall right now. If you're listening to the podcast,
you should watch the video of the podcast unless you don't want to.
We do a deep dive into the clue wall. Yeah. What are you looking for, Jenny?
It's a flashlight. It was because when Pooya was talking about the microphone, I was not clearly looking at the microphone, and I thought he was trying to say that was a microphone, but it's not. It's a flashlight.
Salt shaker.
Okay.
Did a stack of hundreds? $10,000.
Got some cash. We got.
Wait, is that a tech deck? That's a little
shaker.
Little skateboard.
I really love the 2.5 Men.
That was great.
Figure. That's the clue wall. People are really bringing their A game this season.
Yes, they know what's up.
Yeah.
Do we have a famous skateboarder then, like a Tony Hawk?
All right, who's Tony Hawk's relative? Yeah, because I mean, no offense to any skaters out there or skate culture fans, but I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. I couldn't name anybody but Tony Hawk as a skater.
Oh, so wow.
If it's a skater, it's Tony Hawk, I think. Oh, wait, Jenny, are you about to say that
No, I'm not gonna. A lot more? I mean, that is definitely probably like that's the most famous pro skater. But I don't know.
Is that a slingshot up in the upper left-hand side with the?
It looks like a sloth. With a sloth face.
A slingshot?
Oh, wait. What is that? Oh, it's a bear? Is that a bear?
That is a slingshot with a bear on it.
Is it a bear or some sort of...
Or like a
wishbone type thing? Is there something written on the...
It looks carved.
What does it say in the bottom?
Suave? No, that's
what I thought it said. I thought it said suave too.
Shave? No.
Oh my God. What is that?
Something, yeah.
Is that a bear though?
Interesting.
Slingshot.
A slingshot and a skateboard. Is Bart Simpson here?
I was gonna say, is someone related to Nancy Cartwright?
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well, how about another
I'm
clue?
not sure.
All right. Leave the clue wall up. Alimony came up. Has anybody gotten a famous divorce?
I'm sure like a lot of celebrities.
I mean, I see money.
But for that to be the like word,
did somebody get divorced from like a very rich person?
Yeah, like did they become famous because they got money from being married to some? I don't know.
Well, remind me, alimony is like it's like a monthly payment type thing. What does it stand for exactly? Because I know it's to do with divorce, but
it's the money that so you two people get divorced, and then the law says, depending on your state, you have to give some money to your ex-spouse.
And is it
divorce?
Whoever makes the most money has to do that, or like how does it decide?
Typically, yes.
Okay, good to know. Also, why is there a blue tennis ball? Why is the tennis ball?
Oh, maybe
blue?
they did the pressure cooker.
Oh, triggering.
Yeah, my tennis ball was blue and green.
Yeah. Is that an ornament hanging up there on the left? So
Wait,
Is that
where?
a rock?
The Rock. Well, a
No?
wrestler that came
Wrestler?
up.
Pebble?
That came up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to think. What are high profile divorces?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think that. I don't know. I don't think
The thing is,
anyone's.
like-
I don't think they're putting a relative of Johnny Depp here.
That's what we
Right.
say.
Like
So they're
even
probably
if
not
Are there
great.
scissor hands anywhere? There's a pirate, Jenny.
Okay.
There's a pirate.
Okay. Well, then it's not completely out of the realm of possibility.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's
I don't
see.
know. I don't know if they're doing that.
I don't know if they'd want to call attention to it, certainly.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they want that smoke right now.
Mhm.
no,
Yeah.
probably not.
Okay. All right.
Now- Okay. Yeah.
all right. It also
I don't want to
comes
go
up-
too
all
far
right,
down
the
a
word
rabbit
comes
hole
up
here.
chastity. Chastity. Now, famously, Cher and Sonny Bono have a child named Chastity, formerly Chastity before Chaz.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other Cher or Sunny-esque clues here that you could point to?
I see an egg that's sunny side up.
I don't.
That
Okay.
feels more breakfast.
Okay.
Breakfast
Mhm.
club.
Yeah, I think
Bacon with the bacon.
Is okay. So
Hmm.
chastity. Is there any sort of like
They're not
who's
gonna
a
have that
famous
here.
virgin? Ooh,
Hmm.
Steve Carell, 40-year-old virgin.
Oh, I think I say Steve from Big Brother 17.
Wow.
Oh, no,
Steve Moses, famous virgin.
Actually, I meant
Summer
the
of
Virgin King.
Chastity.
Oh, yeah, I was
gonna
say,
I
I don't
misspoke.
know
I meant to
what
say BBOTT, right? He
You're
was
getting
Steve,
you're
right?
getting your
It was
BB
Scott.
nerds.
Scott, Steve, Scott.
Dennis.
Yeah.
But is there like, do we have a celebrity that was known for saving it
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
to the
Jonas
point where that would
Brothers.
be? Well, that was the
I
nice
love that
date from
moment.
Franklin.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That was so good. Like, you might be a little too
you
familiar
might
with
be.
this one.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I don't know.
I feel like famously, like the Britney and Justin of it all,
Right.
that was the thing.
Yes. But I don't know if we have a Britney or I
That's
don't
the
know.
thing, though. Like, because of the Atlas, like, I can think of some divorces, but then I don't know if there's alimony involved in those necessarily.
Yeah.
Because then they could have just gone with
I
divorce.
don't know. But I didn't want to go too. I don't want to get too Google crazy here because I think you can
Yeah,
find out too
ruins
much.
the
But I
fun,
just did. I
right.
did just have like a quick like list of famous celebrity divorces because
Okay.
I can't pull them
Um,
out of my head. But there was one name that I thought got brought up in the first episode, which was Ben Stiller and Christine Taylor. Didn't someone say that? I swore that
They
it
thought
was like Ben
Adam-
Stiller. Yeah,
Adam was
and I
Ben
don't
Stiller,
think that,
Owen
okay.
Wilson.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think that Adam is related.
I don't
to
know
Ben
if y'all
Stiller.
want me to talk about this, but I did look up. There is an article that has top 10 highest alimony payments of
Oh.
celebrities.
Of celebrities? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got Ted Danson and Casey Coates. We've got Michael and Deandra Douglas. There's James Cameron and Linda Hamilton. Kevin Costner and Cindy Silva. Neil Diamond is on this. Mel and Robin Gibson is on this. And I'm also seeing, there's a couple more. There's like Michael Jordan, Madonna and Guy Ritchie, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. There's quite a few.
Okay, that's some
That doesn't
big.
quite
That's
whittle
some
it
high
down.
profile. Do we have any Mel Gibson related stuff
I don't think
here?
so.
I don't know. I feel like if they're not gonna have someone else on the
Luckily,
wall, they're not
no.
gonna have him
Yeah.
on the
Okay.
wall probably.
I'm
Okay.
just saying. I don't
and
know. You
then-
never know.
Okay, and then the Valkyrie, which I thought was the hardest word to spell. Come on, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is. That
Even right
that-
now, I think I'll mess it up.
Mhm.
So I think I would have known how to spell it, but not for the like Norse what it was, a Norse mythology of it all. Because
Wow.
isn't there like a famous like Twitch streamer
That's
named
Valky Ray. That's
Ray?
exactly
But
what I was
that's
thinking
where
about
it
as
came
well.
from. Like that's
Yeah.
what it's a play on,
Yeah.
right? And
I
so
think
I
so.
think that that's that's why I would
Yeah.
know the first half of the word, which is where they seem to be getting screwed up on the spelling.
Yeah, Jenny, you're disappointing your boy Hud. He loves himself some Norse mythology. He's
Now-
a big
I'm
audiobook guy.
sorry, HUD.
Okay. While we also
He doesn't know how to spell it.
Marlon Brando stars in Apocalypse Now. Also in Apocalypse Now is Martin Sheen, Dennis
Okay.
Hopper, and somebody who I believe has been talked about before on Claim to Fame, Lawrence Fishburne. I think is an interesting name.
Okay.
Okay, I like that.
Who do you see that for?
I mean,
Shane, maybe?
could be.
Yeah. I don't know. Are there other clues there? Like that's so. Yeah,
Not a lot
I think
of
there's some of these
Matrix
people.
stuff that I see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know. Again, I'm thinking like Shane. If Shane is talking a big game about how famous his relative is,
Yeah.
like,
And I think
do we think that Shane's
Lawrence Fishburne did not really become prominent? I mean, I feel like then he was Cowboy Curtis into the early 90s.
there's a cowboy hat,
There is.
There
There's
is.
a big one.
a big
There's
cowboy hat?
That is true. But I feel like there'd be like at least a couple of Matrix clues.
Yeah. Yeah,
What's
now
that
I'm just starting to see all
badge
different clues.
On the
What?
top right, the little badge thing. What is that?
Like the
Enhance.
star thing.
It's like
thing
a,
that
no,
looks
is it a
like kind of-
throwing
That.
star?
Yeah,
that what
What
that
is
is?
that? No, I don't think so. What does it say?
Is that a harmonica right underneath it? I think it is.
There's a harmonica.
That looks
Yeah.
a little bit like a bit of no. I don't know. I can't even tell what it says.
We have an
I feel
Apple
dumb 'cause-
keychain. Yeah.
I don't know.
Piggy
What
bank,
is
a
that
mushroom.
what is that big board thing with the plaid?
The
That's the
back?
one I'm pointing at. That badge.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I have
Oh,
no
okay.
I'm talking
idea.
about the little
Yeah.
metal star thing.
No, that does
Mhm.
look like a throwing star a little bit.
Okay, but then now we're back to Braveheart because it's giving kind of
That's-
Scottish.
Which is giving a
Right?
little. That could be your Mel Gibson clue you were looking for.
Exactly. That's why I'm like,
You don't
those-
think?
No,
I
I don't
mean,
think. Are those
I don't
arrows
know.
in the middle? I don't know.
it's a buckle.
Yeah.
And I don't know
I
what is
mean,
that? Is that like
There's
some
a
sort of
few potentially lethal weapons on this clue.
Oh no!
Oh,
The
boy.
timeline got dark. I don't
Mhm.
like this. I mean, that does look. I do see the plaid. Yeah, that could be the case.
guys, it might just be Mel Gibson.
I mean, just looking
Who is it
back,
for?
like,
Don't know.
Miguel. Miguel is
Could be.
is-
True.
Okay, actor, Oscar.
Yes.
Interesting. Not Spanish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you go to where the tennis racket is? I want to talk about this like cork thing in front of it. Like, what is that?
Hands.
Are those?
Looks
Yeah.
like
Those
some
look
sort
like.
of like a cork racket.
There's a
Cork
racket,
man?
and then in front of it, there's this cork thing. Does that look
Yeah.
like? It looks a little crossish. Why
Oh.
did they set the corks like that?
Passion of the Christ.
Passion of the Cork.
That is the worry. That
Cork-
is
I
the
don't know.
worry,
I'm
Jenny.
just,
Could-
I'm just like, we've at least.
Could Chris
you know,
Kattan be nearby?
I hope so.
Hmm. Corks.
Of
Interesting.
course.
Yeah. So, yeah, Shane is a cousin. A cousin is actor Oscar, and then also Miguel also has actor potentially.
And yeah, there. And then again, there's still the potential for some lies in here that we could be fixating on someone being a certain profession and they aren't. So
Yep.
because
All right.
with Grammy, so someone, I can't remember who it is, but like you can win a Grammy and not be a singer, right? So
spoken
don't get
word,
too hung up
sure.
on
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about, okay, so we had a fun moment. Miguel is trying to spy on Naomi and Adam. That's probably maybe where we sort of like plant the seeds of some of the chicanery that he is going to get into later on in the episode. Naomi is going to open up HUD's clue. Let's let's stop down and talk a little bit about HUD's clue. Jenny, I know you said you had some theories. Seems like we had some kind of a cherry bomb.
Yes. So, and I took a picture of the clue, but you've got it. Yeah. Okay. So we've got. So to me, this is the and Naomi does get this. She says cherry bomb. Does she say artist? Because that's clearly what the third is.
Yeah.
To me, I'll tell you my interpretation. Because I feel like once I say exactly how I read the clue, I think that it becomes very obvious. But again, maybe people don't see it this way. I don't know.
Okay.
So how I have read it is cherry bomb artist who.
What's this back half mean? We have a guy who's Tebowing. Is somebody about to get iced, Pooya?
I did not think T-boying or getting iced, Rob. I thought it was more focused on the knee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I was stuck on the knee. But then, the next graphic here it's like a needle and a thread.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the thumbs up.
Yes.
And this is where I felt like when I figured out what these three symbols were, that's where I felt like I solved it.
Yeah, to me, I'm still struggling with it. Knee so like.
Do you want me to tell you
please,
how I
Jenny,
interpret
tell us.
it? Okay.
Cook.
Okay. Because I'm always like, well, I don't know. I don't want to go too far, but again, that's what we're here to do.
It's a fine line that we want to like, but I think we're episode 2.
I get excited when I figure things out because I don't have a super deep pop culture knowledge, and so when if
we don't say it, people are going to say it in the comments and say we're dumb.
And
right.
So to me, I was like knee, but like there's the little like obviously there's some sort of
knee pain,
right?
T-pain,
and it's so how I read it is so the knee it hurts. The needle and the thread is sewing, and the thumbs up is good. So to me, it's
good.
cherry bomb artist who hurts so good, and that's when I felt like I got
changes everything.
Yeah.
And so
I feel like Rob, you definitely know, right?
Well, I know
do
the
not.
artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's the thing is, and it's like depending on your age, and if you grew up around, people that listen to certain music, you might know or you might not. Now, I do think even if Pooya doesn't know who this is, he will be familiar with one of their relatives.
Oh,
I think he'll be familiar
not
with,
HUD and
with
not
one
HUD.
of the words in the name. Yeah.
Oh, relax, Rob. Unless I'm thinking of someone wrong. We'll talk off the air.
Oh my god. But Rob, are you picking up what I'm putting down on the other relative? So. The other relative that Pooya would be familiar with?
No.
Okay,
I think I do though. I think I do.
Oh wait, no, yeah, okay, yeah. So this person plays Celebrity Big Brother?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I
think I figured it out as well.
Yes.
By that I mean I looked something up. So.
And now and then when I thought of that person, I was like, oh, I actually think that HUD kind of looks like them. The person that played Celebrity Big Brother, not who the actual celebrity relative is. Anyway. So are we just gonna say it?
Yeah, say it. I mean,
yeah.
at this point,
I think I feel 100%. This is John Mellencamp, John Cougar Mellencamp, if you nasty. And I grew up listening to a lot of John Mellencamp in my household. Yeah. My mom's a big fan, so I'm very familiar with a lot of the songs. So as soon as I was like who else sings Cherry Bomb? Because my first thought was there's a song called it's not called Cherry Bomb. It's like something Cherry Bomb by Spoon, but it's clearly not Spoon. And it's not Joan Jett, apparently, because of what Naomi's saying, that she doesn't have kids, and she seems to be going off of that. There's a song called Cherry Bomb by John Mellencamp, but the Hurt So Good part, everyone knows Hurt So Good, right?
The song Cherry Bomb is on the album The Lonesome Jubilee.
Exactly.
That's
why. I feel like it's locked up.
Yeah, this is now that I know all the context, this is a very giveaway clue.
They're all
big time.
giveaway clues.
Yeah.
Now, did I'm getting mixed up. I do feel like the clues are very easy so far. Just the ones that we've seen.
Mhm.
Did Naomi show HUD his clue? Because I know that Gracie showed Naomi her clue. I'm forgetting? Did HUD see his clue?
I think so.
'Cause
I want to say yes, but then also I could just be thinking about the other
Mhm.
reveal.
Because I might be mixing them up.
No,
because
no.
I know.
Naomi,
I think it was.
I have my notes. Naomi has HUD's clue, shows it to him.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and he says it's so obvious. Like he
But
says
not
it
to her.
us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's like, Jesus Christ, like this is really, really giving it away here. Yeah, I think as soon as you figure out the hurt so good part, I think that it becomes incredibly
Well done,
obvious.
Jenny.
Thank you. I don't know a lot of music from
Mellencamp
That's-
songs.
yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
know a lot of Mellencamp songs.
Yeah.
Now back to the clue wall. Do we have any cougars? Are we going to
Yeah.
reference the cougar, the dropped cougar? I don't know when he dropped the cougar.
Mhm.
But
Listen, leave Teddy Mellencamp out of this, Jenny. That's not cool.
that was well done, Rob.
Okay.
That's why you're the best in the biz.
Let's see. Nothing really strikes me. I'm just looking
Any
at some
big
of the other popular songs. Jack and Diane. I don't know if we have do we have a Jack? Do we have a Diane?
I don't know.
I think you could put a
Now-
playing card up there.
Is there a Pink House? Because there's a song, the one that's like, Ain't That America? You know that one? It's called Pink Houses, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Here's
don't
an
see any
American
houses.
flag.
Yeah, that could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing is I feel so
By
strong.
the way, that there is an album from John Cougar at Mellencamp called Scarecrow,
Oh, well, that could work over there.
which I feel like was the
That's the
biggest
Scarecrow? There it is, yeah.
piece of evidence against Diedrich being Michael Jackson's
Right.
relative, which did not come up at all in this episode.
Yeah, what was
Did
that
not.
about? Like,
Did
they
not.
really put that
I
in
think
the.
that they just needed something like a mic drop at the end of episode one.
Because it
Well-
wasn't like suspenseful enough.
I don't know. I mean,
think so.
now that we've seen the shenanigans Miguel and Diedrich are up to together, maybe that was also him trying to plan some bait
Mm-hmm.
that didn't take. I don't know.
But again, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's if we are going to connect it to John Mellencamp, that doesn't mean that it couldn't also be connected to
Could be
Michael
mul-
Jackson.
could
Because
be- yeah,
again,
could be
we
multiple.
want clues that could be applied to two different people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. I bet he's paying some alimony too.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Bum,
Okay.
bum, ba-dum.
All right. Let's then see what else did we learn in this episode? That Jill did not know who Antonio Banderas is. Not a good sign for her.
Yeah.
Adam really felt very strongly about that Miguel is a Banderas. He said he would bet his house and his 5 chickens.
So he's a country guy, or
Mhm.
just I mean, people in the city have chickens.
Yeah.
That's true. You can have chickens anywhere. Don't love that bet for Adam. I don't think he should. I think they need to get off of that.
Yeah.
He lost everything.
Yeah. So much chicken in this season. Okay. So
Yeah, and Shane passes the lucky chicken.
yeah, let's talk about the
which
guess
not
off.
lucky anymore.
Okay. All right. We talked about all of the foul play that went on between Naomi and Gracie Lou, leading
about
us up to
chicken.
this point. Yeah. So Gracie Lou goes first. What do we think about
No,
Gracie
Jill-
Lou?
Jill goes first.
I'm sorry. Gracie Lou chose Jill.
Yes.
And then Gracie Lou tells Jill, go first. Pooya, what do you think about the option to okay, do you want to go first or second? Okay, Jill, you go first.
I feel like it's good in that if you don't expect them to go for the person you're going for, it's good because let them go first and get
Sure.
the person out. In this instance, though, with the whole Miguel thing, I really felt like it was going to be a double guess on Miguel. So you guessed Antonio Banderas, you're out. Okay, now I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Desi here. I'm gonna guess him again. But I think ultimately it came down to, well, I'm not going to guess Miguel, so let her guess Miguel, and then I get my next pick anyway.
Yeah. I just feel like that maybe there were circumstances that led to this, but I feel like in a vacuum, I think you want to go first in that spot. One, the person could snipe the person that you were about to guess if you have a good one. Also, the person could guess you. I mean,
no,
right?
That was so that appeared to be the rule because
because it's the double elimination.
When the Jonases were telling Jill who she could guess, they said you can't guess Naomi because she's immune, and you can't guess Gracie Lou.
Could Gracie Lou have guessed, like, if Jill is like, okay, Miguel, it's Antonio Banderas, you're right,
and then she's right,
could she turn around and like, and now Jill, it's your turn?
I'm guessing that maybe they would make that. Maybe that was just a rule where you couldn't guess the other guesser. That if you were guessing, you're not eligible to be guessed, and that was perhaps the clause there. Because otherwise, then if you could do it that way, then it is perhaps better to go second. I just think that with what they were trying to do, like you were saying, Pooya, I think it makes more sense for Gracie Lou to guess the other guess for Miguel there, where she's like, okay, that one's off the board. I have another option for him, and I at least know, like, if we felt like it was pretty good between those two, the odds of it being that one get better. But it just comes down to she really trusted Naomi, and at least Naomi came at her with at least some clues, like evidence that she could point to that person, where again we're just with maracas on Miguel. What else is there? That's where I'm like, I kind of don't blame Gracie at that point, because at least the lie that Naomi gave her was pretty well produced. It's like Naomi had that in her pocket ready to go when she needed to give somebody a fake out.
And not for nothing, if you're trying to weaken Naomi, who's holding the HUD clue, why not call HUD to the stand? Why not have HUD be the guesser? Because best case, HUD gets someone out, especially if you don't think he's looking at you. He gets someone out. Worst case, HUD's wrong, but then Naomi's clue is out the window. Her clue is useless now. So she doesn't have a clue anymore. I feel like that could have been some petty maneuvers.
You don't have a clue. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. Like sometimes it's just about getting rid of someone that people have info on, so that taking away any of their information.
All right. First off, Gracie Lou gets Shane's chicken wing. Can she play it as a idol? So I'd like to play the hidden chicken wing.
This makes me unguessable here.
Yes. Yes.
I think I think we have to debunk the
I'm
chicken
too
wing.
chicken to go home, and so I'm playing my idol. Shout out to Australian Survivor for the chicken idol. Second, though, did she give it back to Shane?
I didn't see the return.
I thought he gave it to Jill. Did he give it to Jill? He gave it to Jill.
I don't think Jill passed it. I don't think Jill gave it back.
Jill walks away.
My notes got screwed up with between Gracie Lou and Jill both going. But yeah, he gave it to Jill.
And I don't recall whether she.
I don't think she
returned it.
Back.
Well, for sure.
I think.
But in the moment, it didn't look like she passed it back. But they probably took it off of her and gave it back to him once she was on the way out.
Like, you can't leave with this. It's powerless.
Thing on Miguel,
leave.
Could you imagine he got double guessed and they were wrong both times? Like that would have been great to see.
It's great for him that they didn't, because now
for later.
he can keep that in your pocket if they want to go at him again. I think that this week turns out worse for him if there's now two confirmed people that he's not related to, that they're going to go back to the drawing board. Whereas the best thing he can do is have them just get so fixated on the Desi Arnaz. And he potentially just keeps letting people get eliminated. He doesn't even have to worry about it.
Which
So
I think they will, because inevitably they're going to find out, okay, he was saying the Banderas thing. He's clearly throwing it off. Why? Oh, it's because we're on him with Desi Arnaz. So we're going to go with that guess next. So he's at the very least gotten himself another get out of jail free card, at least for the minute, unless they decide he's lying about that one's also not real. We're not going to use it.
okay.
I'm just really dying to know more about the connection with Diedrich, because they really like snuck it in, and I like the editing of it was great. It was like it was like the flashback to finding an immunity idol. It was very fun to see this all being planned between Diedrich and Miguel. But I was shook by this because I was like, I didn't even know you guys were friends. Like, we saw Adam trying to take Miguel under his wing last week, and now nothing to be seen there. I want to know more about what's going on between Diedrich and Miguel.
We got the reveal when Jill guesses wrong. That's not Banderas. That is John Stamos. Can we go back to the clue wall? Other than the Greek yogurt, were there any other? I felt like that there was a surprisingly few clues to Stamos. Now I know
the guitar, or is that a ukulele?
Yeah, he was in the Beach Boys. Like he's sort of like a extra member of
It's
the
like
Beach
stand-in
Boys.
Beach Boy. Is there any beach stuff?
Is that a
Sings-
San Francisco streetcar underneath the guitar?
Oh,
Good call. If it is,
Yep, possibly. Or
enhance.
is that-
Hands on
Near
the
the-
car,
near the heart?
underneath the guitar, to the left. Yeah, what's that?
Is that? Oh wait, what is that? Is that a?
Like a
Oh,
little-
okay, yeah.
Yeah. Although,
What is that? Is
That
it
looks like a
cigar?
streetcar.
looks
Oh
like a
yeah,
trolley
it is.
car.
It is.
Although, if you go up, that we do have the bus also. And I mentioned the other co-stars from Apocalypse Now, which include Dennis Hopper, who is also the bad guy in Speed.
Okay.
I was thinking Speed for the bus for sure. It's either that or the Magic School Bus, right? Other than that, what else could it be?
It's funny because you mentioned the Matrix earlier, Rob, and then I got
Yes.
Keanu Reeves in my brain, and then you mentioned Speed.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so again, there's no connection, like in terms of who, like, we don't have those clues here. There wasn't a Matrix clue, but you mentioned the Matrix and then mentioned Speed, and I just started thinking about that.
Yeah. Can we just see the rest of the rest of the wall? Anything else here for Stamos that jumps out?
Again, is there a house somewhere? Because I was asking about pink houses, and then you could have the full house.
Or even the cards, but
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see
I'm dying to know what I guess I
Now-
just don't have enough of the lore.
John Stamos, formerly married to the host of another show you and I podcast
Oh,
about,
yes.
Jenny,
Yes.
Rebecca
Rebecca
Romaine,
Romaine.
formerly
Yes.
Rebecca Romaine Stamos. I
Yeah.
don't know, is who's paying alimony there?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that so we're saying that the alimony could have been
Yeah. Can we go into the
For
bottom
Stamos.
right corner of the clue wall also? Just take a peek there.
Sam is doing a wonderful job of scrolling through our clue wall here.
Yeah, another guitar.
Is that a speedometer?
What is-
Speedometer, you got that bus has got to go 55.
True.
Interesting.
What is that weird green and pink and red?
Is that
bowl?
clay? Is that Play-Doh?
It looks Play-Doh-ish. Initially from
Wow.
afar, I thought it was like a avocado
Can we
salsa type
enhance
thing.
on that a little
but
bit more?
Yeah, I was like, is that
Green, red, and pink.
what is that?
I don't know.
Is that a bowl?
Are those
Is it a bowl, right?
peppers? I'm so
Oh, they
confused.
look pepperish. You're right.
But
They got a
what's the
little
pink
dent
stuff?
on them.
Like pink feathers?
Yeah, it's very confusing. I was looking at the red car. It's not a Corvette, right? But little red Corvette.
Well, there's two red cars. There's one on the left side too, but I think you're talking about the one by the tennis racket.
think
right?
I'm talking
Prince?
about the one near the
Hmm.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just saying possibly.
Well, while we're here, anything else about John Cryer? We had the 2.5 Men on the clue wall. We had the
The
duck.
duck.
The duck, yeah. Are there any tiers?
Is the
like
drama,
a play on
what's
words
the
with
drama
crier?
mask doing? Is the mask
Or is that the
crying?
mask mask? It looks more
generic.
similar to the mask than a drama mask, Rob.
You think you think Jim Carrey is a serious
Well, we had
contender?
Jenny McCarthy last year.
We had Jenny McCarthy last season.
I mean, the mask could also be Cameron Diaz. It could also, or it could be son of the mask. Ugh. Who was that? Was it Jamie Kennedy?
Yeah,
He could be involved. He's more likely than Jim Carrey, I would dare to say.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lots of intrigue still.
Yeah, there's still lots that I'm unsure about. Although it's too bad that we have already lost 3 people with incorrect guesses, because if we start figuring out some of the people that are still in the game and then we just keep getting reveals of other people without really getting time to like try to figure out their clues, then I feel like that takes a little bit of the fun away, because I'm like, okay, don't go too hard. Like I want there to be enough people still in play that we've got lots more to figure out. And I just feel like, there's only 8 people left, and I feel pretty strongly on like 3 of them.
Jenny, did we also determine last season that there's also some junk on the wall that has nothing to do with anybody? Yeah,
I think that it is confirmed that there is
like
stuff
the movie
on the wall that
tickets
means
are like,
nothing.
because
That's the thing. It's like generic.
People are in
It's like,
movies,
Right?
And it's things that people will grab to help like support a weaker theory on someone, where they're like, okay, I've got 2 things. They're like, oh, well, the popcorn because they're in movies. Like, it's like that could be for anyone.
Yep. All right. There you go. That's the clue wall. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else on this week's claim to fame?
This was a very fun episode. I'm so thankful that I got to be here for a blind side, a double elimination, a losing streak, and that no one's guessed correctly. The famed chicken on a chain immunity getting defunct. Chastity jokes. It had everything.
It did have everything. I another thing I'll say is like I'm remembering why I love the challenges. I thought this was kind of a fun challenge. It was like a fun play on the spelling bee. I think that last season that they had to just jump into a pool for the spelling bee. I love that this had the element of having to be in the boat and grab letters. We got a lot of comedy from Danny just not being able to stay in that boat. Somehow his team still pulls out the win. So even, me who gets bored by challenges, the challenges are so fun to watch on this show, because not only do they do different things that you don't see on other shows, you should pay attention to the challenges because you're going to get hints. And so I just love that there's a show that every piece of it is worth paying attention to. I don't feel like the challenges are a point where you go scroll on your phone. You pay attention to the challenges, and that makes me very happy.
All right. Pooya, anything else claim to fame?
No, again, just happy to have been here. Sorry I didn't come in with a lot of answers and detective work.
I think it speaks to the season. We're stumped.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of folks that I think that we do not know. Miguel, we don't know. Diedrich, we don't know. Danny, we don't know. Do you
have any wrestlers in like that you could see it being, if we want to go on the wrestling train?
Stone Cold's a solid one already. I feel like they're all going to look at the bigger, more obvious names. So like I would say Hulk Hogan could be in the mix. We talked about The Rock briefly. I feel
barely in this episode.
Yeah, he's like very much not.
He was
there
really
for
just
the most part.
his main contribution was being like capsizing boats.
Yeah, exactly. And the Olsen twins reference.
Oh, I was about to be like, does Hulk Hogan have a goatee? But it's way more of a handlebar mustache.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week. Jenny, we got a great guest lined up to come on and talk about Claim to Fame with us. The very famous Kelly Wentworth is going to join us to talk about Claim to Fame, who I believe only a year ago didn't even know what Claim to Fame was. Watch the first episode because Mike Bloom tweeted out the famous clip that was going around about her meltdown over Tom Hanks, and then got hooked.
Yeah, listen, and I think that happens. I think
Yeah.
that a lot of people, discounted this show and then, saw how great it is. So I'm very,
Underdog
very excited to
Wentworth
have
on
Kelly.
Underdog
Yeah,
Claim to Fame.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Also, we didn't mention tonight in the episode that there was the scene where they reenacted put the I Love Lucy laugh track on.
Yes.
Shades of Survivor 46, where we had the Andy Griffith shout out.
Yeah, the editing of the show is very fun. It's like I feel like it's a good watch beginning to end. There's nothing you should tune out of. There's like lots of little, there's nuggets everywhere, and not just ones that I put on chains.
Yeah. All right. Pooya, what's coming up for you?
Well, we are wrapping up MILF Manor this week, so that's going to be done and dusted. It's going to be fun.
Okay.
And
Dustin Hoffman.
I'm excited.
yeah, 90 Day Fiance still going strong. This season's coming to a close soon, but then the other one starts. And myself and Shannon have been having a grand old time with Traders New Zealand. I said this on the podcast that we just recorded, but I feel like the New Zealand producers are taking a lot of risks and they're really good. They're making the challenges be worth something, Rob, which I know a lot of people don't like the challenges otherwise, but you know what Jenny just said, they're worth watching on this season, surprisingly. So check that out. And obviously Big Brother's coming back and we just did a draft. So you want to go see who has who, go ahead and do that. And find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Pooya.
All right. Great job, Pooya. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Jenny, what's coming up for you?
Yeah, the aforementioned MILF Manor. We got to close up the manor. So that will be coming very, very shortly. Had a really good time covering that season. A lot of it, Pooya and I, and Chappelle, and then Rob. You bookend it. So make sure, check that out on the 90 Day Fiance feed. And Big Brother. I'm hoping for a great season. It's premiere tonight. So I will definitely be hopping on for some coverage of that. Anything else on social media at Jenny Autumn. And yeah, I'm feeling optimistic about the rest of the season of Claim to Fame. And so far it had been really fun, at least talking about it these past 2 weeks. So
if you're just checking out the Claim to Fame coverage, there's a lot of Big Brother. Come on and hang out with us for the rest of the summer. Come on, there's more to life than just Claim to Fame. Check out everything we got going on for Big Brother here on Rob Has a Podcast. Everything else that we're doing, including scripted TV, is all at robhasawebsite.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.